lovers! It is G-Swizz here, and I am here today with the Throne of Glass character book tag. Now, some of you guys might be wondering,
G-Swizz, you've already done this tag on your channel.
Well, I'm revamping it. And of course I can do so because I created this tag originally. So I came to the sudden realization that Kingdom of Ash is almost out. I don't know whether I'm posting this video when it is out or not. I mean, as I'm filming right now, it is not out, but it's coming soon. And I figured that this would be the perfect time to revisit this tag after creating it 2 years ago. It is honestly just so insane and crazy to think that this series is just about to come to a conclusion and that I have loved this series for years. Yeah, it's almost done, and I just figured that it would be better to revisit this tag at a time like this where I'm having fresh anticipation for the last book. I guess without further ado, I'm gonna get started with the tag that I created. I might have also updated this tag with some bonus questions, so stay tuned for those. So prompt number 1 for this tag is none other than Celaena Sardothien herself. And for this prompt, you're gonna talk about a kick-ass female protagonist that had a very rough start in life. For this one, I'm gonna go with Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my goodness, like, she does not get the recognition that she deserves. I swear I talk about this every once in a while on my channel and pretty much all the time on Twitter. I really do love Gamora, and I think that she definitely does deserve better. I mean, she had a pretty rough start in life thanks to this purple grape. I don't actually want to break you, you costed too much. But what inspires me about the character of Gamora, as well as what inspires me about Celaena Sardothien as a character, is that they come out of both of their situations so strong and so brave. If anything, Gamora kind of inspires me to be a fighter in my everyday life, so go you, Gamora. Prompt number 2 is Dorian, and for this prompt, you're gonna talk about a flirty character that you cannot help but love. And it's very funny because I think over the years, as I've matured as a reader, I've started to be less gravitated towards flirty characters. I do like them every once in a while, but some of them get on my nerves these days. I mean, they mostly get on my nerves if they are womanizers. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like female characters definitely deserve better. And of course, I'm gonna talk about a flirty character that I love. And I've chosen Ben from Paper Towns. I loved Ben. Every single time Ben was on the page, just talking about himself in third person, I cracked up so much. I mean, I feel like the flirty nature of him really does work hand in hand with his sense of humor. If anything, I just love all the characters in this book, and it is my favorite John Green book. And yes, there are multiple reasons why this is my favorite John Green book, but all the characters within it, how different they are, how funny they are, that is one of the many reasons why I love Paper Towns so much. Prompt number 3 is Chaol, also known as Bale. No, that didn't sound right at all. What was that, G-Swizz? You're gonna talk about a good character with a dark and moody side to them, and for this one, I've decided to go with Warner from the Shadow Me series. Now, I know what you might be thinking.
G-Swizz, he ain't good.
Okay, you need to like keep on reading to see the good in him. I feel like you see more of the dark and moody side of him before you see the good in him. I'm going with him for this one. I mean, I'm 100% convinced that Chaol is definitely a way more toned down version of Warner, but I figured the description of this prompt kind of describes Warner pretty well, so that's why I'm mentioning Warner. I certainly love Warner for all of his characteristics. I adore him, and I know that a lot of people don't think that he is redeemable. I do think that there's still good in him, and I was able to push past some things. It's a very polarized opinion. I am on the Team Warner side. Yeah. Prompt number 4 is wait, spoiler alert. This prompt is a potential spoiler for Crown of Midnight. If you have not read Crown of Midnight yet, I would highly suggest that you mute the video until I hold 5 fingers up, because that will show that I am up to prompt number 5. But right now, I'm going to be talking about prompt number 4. So I guess you can say that prompt number 4 is Princess Nehemia. Yep. And this prompt is for a character that had so much potential that was killed off way too soon. I am personally not going to say anything because I don't want to have to warn for spoilers again, but I'm not sad, I'm mad, and I'm bitter. I'm not gonna talk about this anymore because I'm gonna rage. Okay, I'm gonna move on to prompt number 5, which is a combined question between the King of Ardalan and Maeve. Originally it was just the King of Ardalan, but I made this tag like a few years ago and I decided to include Maeve to this prompt because at the moment that is kind of more relevant. And for this prompt, you gotta talk about your favorite villain at the moment. My favorite bookish villain at the moment would hands down be Minya from Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I love Minya as a villain because she's an antagonist that you can really sympathize with and really feel sorry for. At first, I didn't like her at all whatsoever. The second time that I read this though, I realized I feel like I was being pretty heartless when it came to Nehemia because I knew that she was the bad person at first and she just came off as pretty snobbish, but as I kept on reading it, I realized, wow, her backstory is way too tragic, and I could totally see why she doesn't understand the main character's motives because she has been through a lot herself. And I don't know about you, but I love villains like that, and there are some other villains that I also love, like Thanos and Killmonger and the Vulture, all of them being Marvel Cinematic Universe villains, obviously. But as far as bookish villains go at the moment, Nehemia is a standout. Prompt number 4 is Rowan, and for this one, you gotta talk about your favorite love interest. Now, seriously, everybody knows who my favorite love interest is. Like, you know, everybody knows. But because that this is an updated tag, I gotta mention somebody else. This guy is another one of my favorite, absolutely favorite love interests, and I'm also going to be bringing this book up for a second time because what else do you expect of me? What else? Laszlo freaking Strange is one of the purest souls ever to have graced this planet in fiction. And yes, if you were wondering, I will literally die for him. I will. I love him that much. Prompt number 7 is Aedion. Oh my goodness, I love Aedion. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. In this prompt, you gotta talk about your favorite bookish relative, and I'm gonna go with relatives for this one. At the moment, my favorite bookish relatives are Larajean's siblings. I just love them. Actually, no, Larajean's family, full stop. I even love her dad. Her dad is just the funniest. These guys are just so pure and so sweet and so funny. And yes, they have their tantrums with each other, but it's just so great. I love this family so much. They're just so wholesome, and I just love them. My baby sister is just screaming in the background right now. It's just perfect. I'm talking about bookish relatives, and then my relative decides to just muck around in the background. Prompt number 8 is Manon Blackbeak. And for this character prompt, you gotta talk about your favorite anti-hero. So I'm pretty sure when I was doing this tag the first time, I never read this book series, which follows an anti-hero. Now that I have to share my love with her to the world. And that, my friends, is Adelina from the Young Elites. I'm convinced that Adelina and Manon Blackbeak would make amazing friends because I'm pretty sure they have a pretty similar darkness to each other, and I am living for it. I love how dark and complex both anti-heroes are. I love that in characters so much, and I especially love it when authors are able to articulate that darkness so well. I applaud both Marie Lu and Sarah J. Maas for making such amazing anti-heroes. Prompt number 9 is Abraxos. Oh, my baby, I love him. Sarah, please don't kill him off. For this prompt, you gotta talk about your favorite bookish noble steed or even pet, and for this one, I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel's cat Chewie. I just love Chewie so much, and every single time I see Chewie in the comics, I swear my pupils turn into hearts. That's how much I just adore Chewie. Prompt number 10 is Astrid. And for Astrid's prompt, you gotta talk about a character who is loyal. I've decided to go with Amari from Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I know at first that a lot of people, as soon as they started reading this book, were Team Amari. They were totally convinced that Amari was good. For the longest time, I was scared that she was not going to be loyal and she was going to turn on everybody, but turns out she was just super loyal, and she's probably the most loyal character in this book, let's be real. Prompt number 11 is Lasandra. And for this character prompt, you gotta talk about a character that grew on you. And I would say 2 characters for this one. I would say both Katie and Ezra from Illuminae. It's pretty funny because I didn't actually originally like them that much when I first read Illuminae. I mean, I gave Illuminae a second chance when I was rereading it, but I still wasn't attached to them as characters. But then as I continued on with the series, I appreciated them more as characters, and they really grew on me. Whereas Hannah and Nick, however, I had an instant attraction to. Prompt number 12 is a lead. And for this prompt, you're going to talk about a character who is always hopeful even in the worst circumstances. And this answer is going to be the only answer that is the same as my original answer for the original tag that I did like 2 years ago. And that, my friends, is Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby. That is right. I'm pretty sure he's the most hopeful character that I've ever read about. I don't know. I feel like it was pretty difficult to find another character. Maybe it's because he's just so hopeful in such a dark situation that nothing really compares to the situation. I don't know. Maybe I'm just forgetting some other characters. But yeah, I have to mention Jay Gatsby for this one. And of course, I love Jay Gatsby, so that's a bonus. Prompt number 13 is Aelin Ashriver Galifianus. And for this one, you gotta talk about a character who has gone through some major, extensive character development. And for this prompt, I decided to go with Ruby from The Darkest Minds. She starts this book series off being so scared of what she can do. But as she develops as a character, she gets stronger and stronger and definitely gains a lot more bravery in the process. And then by the end of the series, she is leading a revolution. How crazy is that? Prompt number 14 is Fleetfoot. And for this one, you gotta talk about a character that stays safe no matter what circumstances are thrown at them. First time I did this tag, I think I mentioned Church from the Mortal Instruments series, so yeah, I mentioned a cat. I will be mentioning another cat, and that's Buttercup from the Hunger Games series. I mean, How? I don't know how this cat was able to survive the world, but the cat didn't die in the end. Oh, Buttercup. And finally, I will leave you guys off with 2 bonus questions that I thought of recently because I didn't think of them back in the day. So I guess prompt number 15 will be Lorcan. And for this character prompt, you gotta talk about your favorite morally grey character. Now, I'd have to say my favorite morally grey character as of the moment would be Nova from Renegades. I think that the morally grey side to Nova's character really does give her a lot of depth and dimension. You can totally understand and empathize with the fact that she is an anarchist, and there are so many reasons that she gives to justify that fact. At the same time, there's a part of Nova that wants to do good, and so that aspect of her character really does fascinate me. That is why she's my favorite morally grey character at the moment. And finally, prompt number 16 is Irene, who is currently probably my favorite character in the Throne of Glass series. For this character prompt, you're gonna talk about an underrated gem of a character. And of course, I gotta go with Ella from Gemini. Oh, she's one of my favorite characters in this series. She just kicks butt. I appreciate that about her. And nobody talks about her that much. Everybody likes Illuminae better than Gemina. I personally like Gemina better. And I'm pretty sure that if people were hyping up Gemina more, they'd hype Ella up more. I don't know. I'm team Ella. I think that she's an awesome, underrated character that gets stuff done and doesn't take no for an answer. So I guess that's gonna be it for this tag video today, book lovers. And yes, I'm pretty sure I do want to tag people. I don't know at the top of my head who has done this tag and who hasn't done this tag, who currently likes Throne of Glass and who has grown out of it, but I will figure it out. I will find people that do love Throne of Glass, or at least I think do love Throne of Glass, and I will tag them. I'll put your channel names down in the description so you can check it out, and you can see whether your channel name's there, and I will also tag you on Twitter. And if you're also excited for Kingdom of Ash, if you want to celebrate on your channel and do a Throne of Glass related video, I tag you. I tag everybody who just loves Throne of Glass to do this tag. So I recommend you do this tag because, like, I made it for that reason. And if you want to purchase any of the books that I mentioned in this video today, all the book depository purchase links will be down in the description so you can check them out, you can purchase them, and you can help me out by doing so. And I also have social medias. I'm at G-Swizzel Books on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzel. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.